Here we're given a function graph, and I've marked x values on the bottom on the axis. This is f of x, and we're asked to find absolute and relative max and min of the function. So first we're going to find the absolute maximum. Look at the graph. Where's the highest point? It corresponds to the x-coordinate x equals j. That's where the highest point of the function is. So that's an absolute max. The absolute min is located at the point that's lowest on the graph. That occurs at the x value. Look at the picture. It's lowest at x equals c. That's our lowest point. It's pretty easy to figure out where the absolute max and min are. A little more difficult for relative or local max or mins. First we look at the local max. It occurs at three different places: x equals b, d, and f. So just take a look at each of those x values and trace your eyes up to the graph. What's occurring there? There will be a small open interval of x values around each of these values, x equals b, x equals d, x equals f, where the function graph is highest. And that's true for all three of these x values. Now the relative or local minimum occurs, several of them, at x equals c, e, and g. And you can see that in the graph because you can imagine a small open interval of x values around each of these x equals c, x equals e, and x equals g, where the graph is at its lowest point. Now, this is explained more deeply in the next note that you're going to look at. But what I want to point out, let's look closely at one of the relative maxes at x equals b. Look at b. There's a point on the top, and you can imagine an interval of x values around b for which in that little neighborhood that I've drawn here, the value x equals b has the highest point in that neighborhood. That makes it a local, otherwise called a relative maximum.